Memosh and the lessons of life's perils. In the heart of a scorching desert, a tiny mouse named Memosh lived a life that had started with abandonment. His mother, for reasons beyond his understanding, had left him to face the world alone. Memosh had wandered through endless sands, guided only by his instincts and the faint hope of survival. One day, after days of struggling in the sun, he arrived at the great house of the village's chief. He had heard whispers from traveling birds and wandering insects that here, there was an abundance of food and relative safety, a place where one could thrive if clever enough. Upon entering the house, Memosh discovered a large, sunlit storehouse filled with sacks of wheat, grains, and various dried foods. His tiny heart leapt with excitement. Without delay, he set about making a cozy little nest between the sacks. Days passed, and Memosh enjoyed the simple pleasure of easy meals, nibbling on grains and crumbs without ever worrying about finding his next bite. For a while, life felt simple and safe, a haven he had dreamed of in the endless desert. But danger, as life often reminds us, is never far away. The owner of the house, the chief, had noticed this small intruder. He was determined to put an end to Memosh's daily raids, so he set a mouse trap in a quiet corner of the storehouse, hoping to catch the tiny guest. Memosh, remembering the warnings and advice of his mother, approached cautiously. He crept along the wooden beams and sacks, his whiskers twitching, his ears alert, his tail brushing lightly against the floor. He examined the small contraption, a strange device with a snapping mechanism, and listened to the silent warning in the air. For a long moment, he hesitated. Memories of his mother's cautious words echoed in his mind. Never let greed overcome care. Measure every step and trust your instincts. Finally, curiosity and necessity combined, and he edged closer. But just as his tiny paw brushed the edge of the trap, a sharp click rang out. Pain shot through his tail as it became trapped in the cruel device. Memosh squeaked and struggled with all his might. Though wounded, his determination did not waver. Using his nimble body and sharp mind, he wriggled free and dashed away, breathless but alive. Tears in his eyes, he ran straight to his mother's old den. Though it was far away, he always felt her presence there in his heart. "Mother," he cried, "something terrible caught me. I barely escaped." His mother looked at him calmly. That, my little Memosh, was a mouse trap. Many shapes, many kinds. If you were content with the simple grains of the desert, you would never have faced this danger. Memosh frowned, trying to reason. But mother, if humans thought that way, we would still be living in caves. Traps, cats, dangers are everywhere. How can one live without facing risk? For a while, Memosh returned to the storehouse, careful and clever, avoiding further trouble. Life resumed its quiet rhythm, and he grew more confident in his tiny domain. But then, one day, a new threat arrived, unexpected and terrifying. A large, gleaming snake slithered into his storehouse, coiling with an almost joyful curiosity as it made its home among the sacks of food. Memosh, horrified, scurried to his mother once more. "Mother," he said, trembling, "look, a snake has taken over my home." His mother, wise and stern, replied, "See, Memosh, this is what happens when one's life intersects with the lives of others. Where was injustice done? Where was harm caused that brought this upon you?" Memosh shook his tiny head fiercely. "I did no wrong. I haven't killed anyone, destroyed any home, stolen anything, or hurt anyone. This is simply misfortune, chance, fate." His mother sighed. "Memosh, sometimes strength and cunning are not enough. Some enemies cannot be defeated by mere size or wit alone." Memosh, however, was resolute. "Then I will not confront the snake with my smallness alone. I will bring the owner of the house to confront it. I may only damage human food, but the snake threatens human life. The wise always deal carefully with the weaker enemy to prepare for the stronger one." The next day, Memosh approached the snake boldly. He spoke with logic, with diplomacy, and with the sweetest tone he could muster. "Snake," he said, "we need not be enemies. There is enough food here for both of us. You do not need to risk conflict with me." But the snake, arrogant and dismissive, ignored him. Memosh then declared, Then meet me in the garden tomorrow at noon. There, we will see who prevails." The following day, the snake slithered lazily to the garden, confident and unafraid. Hours passed. Memosh did not appear. The snake, lulled by the sun's warmth, eventually fell asleep, thinking the little mouse had been too frightened to show up. Meanwhile, Memosh had a plan. Seeing the human gardener sitting in the garden, he scampered quietly, tickling the man's foot until he looked up and noticed the snake. With swift, precise action, the gardener struck, and the snake was defeated. Memosh had succeeded not by brute force, but through cunning, patience, and understanding how to use one enemy to overcome another. From that day on, Memosh became not only wiser, but more aware of the harsh lessons life offers. He learned that survival does not depend solely on strength, but on cleverness, patience, and the courage to act when opportunity arises. Every trap, every predator, every danger became not just a threat, but a lesson to be understood and remembered. And in the quiet corners of the storehouse and the garden, Memosh continued his life, alert, intelligent, and ever vigilant, forever carrying the lessons of his mother, the dangers of the world, and the knowledge that even the smallest can outweed the greatest.